Welcome into the Fantasy Football Power Hour presented by the SBFFC. We're here live on the TN2M network of shows on YouTube. I am your host and looking much smaller today as I normally do on here. Seth Birch at the Phoenix Rocket, joined alongside my partners in crime on Friday night, Dr. Brian Harwood and Mr. Chuck Ellis. Guys, we've got a live draft going on now. And so it is it's going to be an exciting night. Hopefully you can join us. We're doing a playoff draft tonight, but before we get to all of that, how the heck are you guys tonight?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, and it's a good Friday. And I am excited to do some drafts tonight. I've never done the data force style draft, and it's a very different format. Everybody plays. No ad drops, no lineup changes, nothing.
That's a little bit different than what I've done on these drafts in the past. So 14 guys start, two quarterbacks, two running backs, four wide receivers. Two tight ends?
Two tight ends, yes.
Two tight ends, two kickers, and one defense. Is that correct?
Two defenses.
Two defenses.
Yes.
So you got to fill a roster here, and it's a 14-round draft because you're drafting your entire starting lineup, and that's what you're rolling with. So a lot of strategy. Chuck and I are sharing a team in this, and so we'll be talking through the draft. And Dr. Harwood is shared a team with his good buddy Matt Krantz. And so Dr. Harwood's also drafting a team.
Well, no. Me and the living legend of fantasy football, Matt Krantz, are drafting the same team.
Well, I mean, I feel like you got to have won quite a bit to name yourself that self-proclaimed living legend. But we also have a guest on Dr. Harwood. Who do we have tonight?
Well, we have Michael Quinsel. He is the world champion of the Woo Fantasy live draft from Friday night. And first year playing it, Woo Fantasy live draft, he won $2,500. Fantasy Meatballers, I met him at the Scott Fish Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia. And he does a lot of fantasy leagues and contests. He's familiar with a lot of the high stakes leagues. And he is going to be a good one tonight. And he's going to drop some knowledge, and I look forward to getting with him and working with him and all that good stuff too. And
we've got a first-year cash man and Albert Flores joining us. He says, "Hey guys, finished second in the main event in his first year playing in the main event, and you as well. If you're watching this and you're not playing in the Southern Bluegrass Fantasy Football Championship, you absolutely should be playing in the SBFFC. It is one of the greatest events in fantasy football, and certainly is my favorite event every year. I look forward to it. It's a weekend thing, so it is certainly something because hey, even if you're not played, you can be a winner. The first and second place this year were first-year players, which is pretty impressive and not something I think, Dr. Harwood, that has happened before.
That has not happened before, and it may be a while before it happens the first time. But it's going to be a wild playoff run. I think it's going to be. You might have a Super Bowl that you may have never seen before, and you're going to have 6 owners. Now, he's going to really think different. Going to be a lot of parity, and I'm getting ready to fire up this playoff here. I'm getting ready to start the draft now. So
And for those that are paying attention to the college football game on tonight, Oregon just tied up the game at 6 extra point pending, but they just scored a touchdown. So we're tied at 7 in that game as well. And Dr. Harwood, you mentioned that a new Super Bowl, that certainly is going to be the case. No Chiefs this year. So that is something that is noteworthy. And Chuck,
yes, sir.
We were talking before we went on the air, but this might be one of the most unpredictable years in the playoffs that there have been.
Yeah, there's a lot of new faces in the playoffs this year. You don't have your Chiefs. You don't have the Ravens in there this year. So is this the year that Josh Allen can stop using excuses? There's no Lamar holding him back.
I mean,
It's time for Josh Allen to put up or shut up.
I was going to say, if he doesn't do it this year, does he do it at all? I mean, is that going to happen if he can't do it this year?
Yeah, and then do they move on from McDermott?
Well, I think John Harbaugh is kind of waiting to see what happens there.
Yeah,
although I know he's pretty much been contacted by every team that has a head coaching opening, and probably a few that don't have a current head coaching opening. While we're talking about and getting this draft ready to go, what are some other Chuck playoff style fantasy football games that are popular that maybe you have played, and any particular tips for those while Dr. Harwood is getting this set up? I know I just did one that is fairly local, where it's you pick a player, a team, and you have a roster to fill out. So, and once that, by the time you get to the Super Bowl, you'll have 2 players, but that's it, and it's total points.
Mm-hmm.
But what are some of the other type of playoff fantasy games that you're aware of and maybe have played, and any tips for those that might be watching?
The one that's popular right now is you select one player from each team that are in the playoffs, and that is your team throughout the playoffs. And my advice in that is if there's 10, 12, 14 teams in your league, everybody's going to jump on the same guys. So at some point, this isn't a 16 or 17 week season. This is basically 4 weeks. So you have to pick some different guys, be the guy that takes a Hunter Henry or somebody like that, somebody different. And that will separate you from the rest of the pack. If Hunter Henry has a big game, and you've put yourself ahead of those guys, because a lot of people won't take a player like that from New England. Everybody knows who's going to get picked from New England. So you have to use a little bit of strategy in this.
Now, also, I have another contest, the one and done, at the $50 and $100 levels, and you have to submit a brand new lineup every week. It's Survivor with fantasy players, and so that's going to be that's a fundraiser for the WK Dance Team, SBFFC Live Events, and Do Good Fantasy to benefit veterans, helping out Dan Claskets and Fantastics Fantasy Football. He's on Saturday mornings on Sirius XM radio. And what you do, we have an SBFFC lineup of quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, tight end, 2 flexible players, running back, wide receiver, tight end, a kicker, and a defense. And Joe Dolan from Fantasy Points is really big into this. And once you submit a lineup, you can pick anybody you want, but you cannot use them again for the rest of the playoffs. So use Josh Allen this week, can't use him again. You can only pick a guy once throughout the playoffs. So you've got to predict this week's games, next week, and you've got to have players left for the Super Bowl if you want to contend in this thing. You've got to get players that will make the Super Bowl or the championship round in order for you to contend in this contest.
Yeah, that's an interesting one as well. How are we doing on this draft, Doc?
Well, we got the data for us is they have found a bug, but we are finding the bug, and I think we're getting ready to
exterminate it.
I think we're moving right along now.
Albflo wants to know who our quarterbacks are for fantasy. Let's hold off on that just right now till we get to this first round, and we'll answer that question because there's already some strategy. I did see who the number 1 pick's going to be. I don't know if they stick to that.
Word on the street is it's Puka Nacua going first.
That's what I heard as well.
Yep.
Well, we certainly do welcome everybody that is watching along here tonight. We'll certainly take any fantasy questions that you have as we are getting the bug worked out, trying to get it exterminated here on Data Force. And it was a great fantasy football season this past year, and maybe one of the most unpredictable, but the playoffs for the NFL is going to be no different, as it's going to look a lot different first and foremost, especially with Kansas City not being there, Baltimore not being in. It was quite a bit of a shock and surprise as well. Head coaching openings have come up. That's going to affect fantasy football for next year. And Chuck, what has been the thing that has surprised you the most in these last couple of weeks?
Who started off the season red hot, carrying teams, completely fizzle out and fall apart in the playoffs. The one that sticks in mind is Gibbs. And Jonathan Taylor. These guys just got ice cold at the end of the season. And that tends to happen. Jonathan Taylor lost his quarterback, and then the dynamics of Indianapolis changed. I think a lot of Gibbs's problems was game script, and I think that's why you've seen the offensive coordinator get moved out of Detroit. I think when you get to these games late in the season, you got to give your dogs the ball, and 10, 12 touches for Gibbs just ain't getting it done.
Yeah, no, and I saw a report today that there was a suggestion that David Montgomery might be on the way out, not because they don't like him, because I think what I had read was they want to give him the opportunity to shine somewhere. And I mean, he certainly has the skill set and the talent to be a number one back. I would think if you're Jahmyr Gibbs, you kind of want him to stick around, because that takes a little bit of the workload off of you just physically as a football player at one of the most absolutely grueling positions on the field. Outflow wants to know, since we're waiting, what's the most you all have paid for your draft spot in the SBFFC, or we'll say SBFFC events? I've been over 500 once or twice. And I don't remember the year necessarily, but there was somebody I really wanted, and it was probably for the number one spot. But I haven't gone more than 600. I think at that point you're really wasting money.
For me, the year Chrissy and I won the high stakes, I bid 460 on pick 12 and got Amon-Ra St. Brown and CD Lamb.
That was a good year.
Yeah, it was a great year.
Especially winning the championship there.
Yeah.
All right. I was taking a look at the board here. We're still
Data Force is still working the magic. I apologize.
Well, I mean, it's not your fault, Dr. Harwood.
It is. I should have prepared myself more. I should have studied this more, but I've been one to have spent the $400 to $500 draft spot before in a first year dynasty league just to get the number one draft pick. And I've seen a lot of guys with Albert answering Albert's question in the other leagues of live drafts. They'll spend the high of $400 on either side, left or right side of the draft board, and they're wanting to be aggressive early.
I tell you, and it's not football, but I have seen in baseball drafts that top spot go for like $900. I feel like there was a year in our league that it went for like $800 or $900.
Hey, Puka Nacua has been drafted, guys.
All right, we're on the board. Let's get this show on the road. Puka is off the board. All right. So now we'll be able to get this updated. 500 here for I'm reading it like I had it on the screen. 500 for pick 12. Everyone looked at me like I was crazy. Well, here's the thing. I don't think that's crazy. And this year, I think if it taught me anything, it's if you feel like you can set your draft up for success because you really want a particular spot, I think you have to go for it because this year, I mean, there weren't a lot of big time free agents that hit the market that were pick up on waiver wire day. So if you really feel passionate about 12 or 1 or somewhere like that, you've got to spend for it. Now there's a lot of people that take the stance that, well, I'm just going to take who I want. All right, it's up to us, Chuck. Are we going to go with who I think we're going to go with?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We are going to pull the trigger here on Mr. Josh Allen. So he is off the board. But I just think that if you feel really strongly that you get what you want, if you feel like you've got a home run with the first pick and you really want, like this year, for instance, Jamar Chase. Now, that didn't work out. That had less to do with Jamar Chase than it did the quarterback situation. But I do think that goodness. All right. This draft is already surprising me. So let me recap the first 5 picks so far. Puka Nacua went 1. Matt Stafford went number 2. Devontae Adams went 3. And Josh Allen went number 4. JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, goes number 5 overall. So Albflow, to answer your question, for me, I think Josh Allen is always a top name at the position at quarterback. I think anytime you have an opportunity for him, I certainly think that you've got to go for it. Stafford went. He was the first quarterback off the board, Chuck, and that was somebody we had discussed off air about somebody we really liked.
Yep, agreed. That's somebody that we were looking at. So we'll be coming back up here in a hot second.
I'm going to text you a name here, Chuck.
Okie dokie.
And you tell me what you think. This is one of those where we're not going to talk about it on the clock necessarily. But
So that
it
puts us up.
Okay. Well, there went one of those names I sent out.
Yeah, that's the exact 2 people I was thinking about, Seth. So.
Well, then go with the one that's not drafted.
Yep. So.
Well, we are going to go with Brock Purdy in that second spot.
Yep. So our strategy there was to get an AFC and an NFC quarterback. That's a pretty simple strategy.
Well, like y'all were saying, y'all are going between 2 picks. Rocky Balboa was fighting Drago, and he was seeing 3 guys, and Paulie was like, hit the guy in the middle.
Yeah. Well, it's so after Brock Purdy goes Kyron Williams. So a lot of people love the Rams. I mean, is that the trendy Super Bowl pick right now?
I believe so. That's what I'm seeing. That's the trendy Super Bowl right now. I will say this. There's a reason why you need to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And the Rams are going to find that out on Sunday in Carolina in torrential downpours and 20-mile-an-hour winds. It's going to be an ugly game on Sunday. Hopefully they can survive.
Yeah, I agree. Looks like Trevor Lawrence, Bo Nix has went.
Quarterbacks are going quick because everybody's got to have 2.
Yep.
People are starting to follow that quarterback train. That push, I think, led to a run.
Yeah, we figure if we didn't get too early, since we're like you are as well picking towards the other end of the draft, you're going to be stuck coming back through in the 3rd round.
All right. Looking at it, I'm just taking a look at players available here.
Seth, if you want to, there's a live draft board you can contact on the top. Well, no, it's not on the top left.
Hang on. Well, yeah, but that makes it a lot smaller.
Yeah, I didn't even know that they offered that right tonight. So,
Well, I mean, it looks nice, but not for the purposes of this. So
right, because you can see everybody's roster on this because there's only 6 teams. This is kind of a different field.
Well, I pulled up I pulled it up on another tab, and it just did not look very great.
I got you. We got to make it look good now. I mean,
well, I made it look as good as I could. We'll put it that way.
Hey, that's that looking good, looking fine. I mean, you know, my long as the job gets done, you know, it's the look can be look will be even better after you win the thing.
Yeah, I mean 100%.
Y'all see any surprises right now in this draft, or
I mean, I'm surprised that we took the first quarterback off the or second quarterback off the board, and that the first one was not George. I mean, was not. I say George Kittle. That he just went. That the first quarterback was not Josh Allen. So I that was a little bit of a surprise to me. That Josh Allen did not go first. I would have thought he would have been first, but I really like Stafford. I like the Rams as well. I do think that they're a potential Super Bowl contender here in the NFC. But just looking at it, you know, that was the biggest surprise to me. Chuck, what about you?
I thought quarterbacks would go early, since everybody has to have 2. But other than that, that's probably it for me. I guess everybody, like you said, got teams that they like. You know, if they think it's going to be the Rams, and they grab their guy. We were talking off set that Josh Allen and Matt Stafford were our guys. So.
There's a problem on this. There's a problem on this draft board because, you know, 1.5 and 2.2. We should have drafted 3.5, and it's messed up. Third round is messed up.
So it did third.
It did a third. That's what I thought. Something didn't seem right. It's like it's set up for a third round reversal.
Okay, we'll probably just have to keep it that way then.
Well, wait. So wait, are we changing the rules midstream?
I don't think we should.
Well, that's one of them. So it went. Whose pick should it be right now?
So we got Hattiesburg was the first overall pick. So that would have been the.
You basically have to go back to the end of the second round when the third round started. It
because we drafted
those players. Yeah.
We drafted. It was third round reversal is what it was.
Okay.
You might want to pause this and fix it.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if we should fix it or just keep going.
Well, I mean, if you advertised it not third round reversal, then I'd say you need to fix it.
Yeah, you should probably fix it before it gets even later.
I'm going to pause it then. I don't know if I advertised it right. Let's see.
All right. Well, while that's happening, we're going to take a quick break here to pay some respects to. I say it like it's not a funeral. Pay some love to our sponsors over at Trophy Smack. We will take a quick break. We'll hear from our friends over at Trophy Smack, and when we come back, we will have more of the Fantasy Football Power Hour. You're watching Fantasy Football Power Hour presented by the SBFFC on the TN2M network of shows. Be back in just a minute here after a word from Trophy Smack. That was Trophy Smack. Check them out at trophysmack.com because it is that time of the year when you have trophies that are being handed out for fantasy football champions. Maybe you're preparing for next year's league. Maybe you're preparing for a baseball league or a basketball league. all of your fantasy football trophies or fantasy sports trophies, championship gear comes from TrophySmack.com. You can check them out, TrophySmack.com, for trophies, rings, belts, hoodies, helmets, everything. They've got it all over there at Trophy Smack. And tell them that the SBFFC sent you.
Okay, so this the email I sent out did not mention third round reversal.
So then I think you have to correct that.
So we will correct it.
It's what's best for business, as Triple H would say.
I mean, third round reversal was nowhere mentioned on this email. So, but I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to fix this.
I mean, who was it that was working on it before? Because that sound like they're gonna have to work on it again.
Let's see. Should we eliminate the third round or keep going? Yes, I guess I set the original draft order, but I didn't have a right to select third round reversal or not.
Well, it's probably used to your leagues being set up that way already.
Yeah,
would be my guess. Well, right now we're paused in the draft. In a few minutes, we're going to have our guest on tonight, the winner of the Woo Fantasy Mini Main Event Friday Night League in the SBFFC family of leagues. And so that should be good. Current update on the Indiana game, they're up 14-7. So Indiana, I got to tell you, never in a million years, if you'd have told me Indiana would be a serious championship contender, would I have believed you? In football. Basketball, I'd buy, but not in football.
No.
But it does make it more exciting because anybody can win now.
Can we get to a place where they just stop labeling the SEC?
Yes. I was talking to somebody about that today, and it feels like to me that the SEC, I think top to bottom, is a better league if we're just talking, 1 to 16. But when they get in these situations where they're playing the best teams for other conferences, they're not holding up. And SEC apologists, and I at times can be, will say, well, they beat up on each other and they, it's just tougher football. But the fact of the matter is, as someone who's played and someone who coaches, now I don't coach at a very high level. I coach at the middle school level, but as someone who has played and coaches, like, all football's hard. Like, nobody is going out there not hitting hard.
We're back drafting. Data Force said that they would not recommend a program and change mid draft. So that might be a bigger nightmare than it's worth.
Okay.
What do you boys think about that?
Well, I mean, if that's what Data Force said, I guess.
Yep. I got no beef.
Okay, no beef. So I didn't even realize that. That was my bad. But they were saying standard SBFFC.
Looks like we're on the board. Seth, did you see the email I sent you or the text?
You know what? I'm good with that. Okay. Go with that.
We're good, Harvey. You have to pause it.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we're good. I should have wore the old Apple Watch so I can get the notifications.
So 4-4 and 2-4. So Chudnovsky is up. Okay, Chudnovsky is up.
That's what it appears like. The last pick was, or the last couple of picks were Nico Collins and Devontae Smith.
Okay, Devontae Smith. Yeah, so we was up.
Yeah, that we'll go with that. I'm having a hard time keeping up at this point. At this point, I just know when Chuck and I are on the board. That's it.
Well, just said what may help you is draft results. Maybe that might be the. Well,
I'm watching that, but it'll show, and it shows who's on the clock and all that. But the The new third round reversal kind of threw me off. Tim Rohn says,
It
yes,
did me
please,
too.
SEC is done. Yeah, I agree. I think they
Agreed.
are.
Agreed,
3
Tim.
years. 3 years and they've not won one. So I mean, take that for what it's worth. And honestly, it looks like the Big Ten has become the better conference, at least at the top.
All right, Biff is getting ready to run out of clock. I wonder if he disappeared while we were on pause.
Probably did. No, Biff, he took Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
But he timed out. So I'm gonna reverse it.
So if he timed out, then it just took the best player available.
All right, so I'm gonna tell him that he is up.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like Matt said, everybody in college is paying players, so you have quarterbacks that aren't going to come into the draft because they don't want to play for the Raiders next year.
Well, the other thing about it, my father-in-law will joke about this. He said they don't want to leave college because they can't afford the pay cut.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
And depending on where they would potentially be drafted, he's correct. I mean, now your highest end quarterbacks are making in college what a 4th or 5th round draft pick makes in the NFL. And so and that's just what they're getting paid from the school. That doesn't include any kind of outside endorsements. The school pays them one thing. They can go get their own endorsements a lot of times from other places, depending on where they play and what the setup is. But I think it's made the game more interesting because you have so many more teams that are just good. And that's made it more fun. This has been one of the most fun college football playoff years I can remember. It's only been going on for a few years. But I could tell you, I think if the playoff had went on in previous years before NIL, I don't think they would have been as entertaining as what this year has been.
Yeah, I agree. I hated to see the game last night end the way it did on a controversial call.
Yeah.
That's tough.
But at the same time, you talking about the pass interference call?
Yeah, it's tough.
Well, they were the thing about that was they were both kind of hand fighting with one another and holding one another. But if you're Ole Miss, you can't put yourself in that position for a Hail Mary in that spot. You gotta be a little bit better. I mean, I don't like seeing it in that way either, but and I think if it's the second quarter, they make that call. But I think given the situation, I just don't know that. I don't know that they would call that in that situation. I think they would if it were earlier in the game.
All right, so I think we are up, sir. What are you thinking here, Seth?
Are we talking about this on the air, or are we?
Oh, you can shoot me a text if you want. What's your thought? The guy you wanted last time?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okie dokie.
There we go. Ramondre Stevenson. I love Ramondre Stevenson in the playoffs.
Yeah, I do too.
Absolutely love him. And I just think he's a guy that is going to end up. I mean, he's Vrabel's guy, Chuck. That I don't think there's any two ways about that. How many Travion Henderson owners this past season have been frustrated because of Ramondre Stevenson?
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Agreed. Yeah. Let's see. What about
this is this is one of the more entertaining shows we've had just because of the chaos that has ensued with this draft.
Yeah, this has been crazy for a 6-team draft. This has been a lot of chaos.
I love it though. Eric Bischoff would say controversy creates cash. I'm more of a chaos creates views potentially.
Yeah. Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, and that's kind of what has happened tonight. So, do we have any predictions on the playoffs this year?
I think the AFC is wide open. I mean, it is completely wide open. I mean, if you're going with playoff experience, even though neither team is playing particularly well, you got Buffalo and Philly. That's your major experience in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, and that is you got to think that those two are teams that are I don't want to say favorites, but at least they know what it takes to. Well, Philadelphia knows what it takes to get there. Buffalo, not so much. But again, as you said, if he doesn't do it this year, Josh Allen, I'm referring to, I don't know if he's ever going to do it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I completely agree.
Tim says 68% of QBs who leave college early for the NFL since 1991 flop, stay in school. I agree. Unless you're going to be, well, I tell you what, that was, if you were a top draft pick back in the day, back when you could hold out and make just stupid amounts of money. I mean, Tim Couch would never have to work a day in his life because of the money he made as the number one pick. All right, looking at some of the picks that have come through, we're looking at R.J. Harvey, DeAndre Swift, Zach Charbonnet, Parker Washington, Colston Loveland are some of them. Dallas Goedert just comes off the board.
I just shot you a text too, Seth.
Yes.
Top one? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
And we're going to have here in a few minutes Mr. Michael Quinzel. He's in the green room chomping at the bit for fantasy meatballers to get in. He's got a lot of good thoughts in there.
Yeah, well, and we will get to him here in just a moment. We'll hear from our sponsors one more time here in a few minutes, and then we'll bring on Michael Quinzel to talk all things Friday night and SBFFC as we navigate our way through this draft here tonight. And it has been a little bit surprising to me because the thing that I mentioned earlier that Josh Allen not being the first quarterback taken surprised me. The fact that there were three position players or two position players taken in the first three was a bit of a shock to me. I just did not see that one coming. I thought there would be more quarterbacks taken early on than what there was, and that simply was not the case. Harwood, did you time out? Harwood timed out?
Well, Matt didn't know that we can only have two running backs.
Oh,
so we went with Jacoby Myers instead. He did not know that.
Okay, yeah,
he did not know that.
Oh, I like Hunter Henry too. That pick right there. He's one of those lunchbox guys. He just shows up to work every day.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so now Matt and I are back up with the next field. We're going to need either a wide receiver or a tight end or a quarterback. So back up here now. So we might be looking at either Kobe Parkinson. Oh, we got Tyler Higbee. That's going to be an interesting one. I think he scores a touchdown this week.
From
Western Kentucky University.
I saw a stat the other day that the best kicker in America played at WKU this past year.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's 7:40. So whenever you want to bring on Mr. Quinzel,
let's hear from Trophy Smack, and then we will come back.
Absolutely.
And welcome in our special guest tonight, Michael Quinzel.
And he's getting a Trophy Smack belt in August too, by the way.
That's a nice belt. I have one just like it. It's nice to be joined by a company worthy of myself. Not to say that I don't love you two. However, Friday Night Champions, that's a very exclusive club of which I am part of. So right now we're going to take a break. We're going to hear from Trophy Smack. You are watching the Fantasy Football Power Hour presented by the SBFFC on the TN2M network of shows. Be back in a minute after a word from our sponsors. That is Trophy Smack. Check them out, trophysmack.com, for all of your fantasy championship needs, whether it be trophies, belts, helmets, rings, chains, pendants. They have all of those things at Trophy Smack. Check them out again, trophysmack.com, and tell them the SBFFC sent you. Well, right now, we want to welcome on our guest for the night. He is the champion of the Woo Fantasy Mini Main Event on Friday night, Mr. Michael Quinzel. Michael, welcome to the show tonight. It's a bit chaotic here tonight, but we certainly thank you for taking the time out to join us and in many ways celebrate. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Seth and Chuck, and of course, Brian, for having me tonight. I'm looking forward to talking about, my season and everything. And I was enjoying listening to you guys talk about your draft.
Well,
it's been crazy. We've had some snafus, but that's all part of it, part of the charm here on the Fantasy Football Power Hour.
Well, the thing is, Mike, I was going to let you know we're doing a 16 fantasy draft. Data Force in their system automatically has that third round reversal because all leagues are third round reversal on Data Force, right. SBFFC. And I did not think that Data Force would do third round reversal on this league because it was 6 teams, and that's where it was kind of chaotic there. But everybody is good to go now, I assume. But Mike, I want you to tell me your quick fantasy football history. And then how you got to know me and the SBFFC. I think we got you in through Brandon Murkison and Woo Fantasy. Am I correct?
Yes. In last year's Scott Fishbowl in Atlanta. That's where I met him and, and a few of my buddies from the year before. So my history, I actually started from a bowling league in 2015. Guys got me into it. And ever since I've been pretty much hooked on it. But I really got into it 2 years ago when I went to the Scott Fishbowl in Dallas. And then I went to the Expo in Canton, Ohio. And, met everybody that I listened to on Sirius XM and all that. So I am pretty much 24/7, 365 fantasy football. That's me.
Well, Mike, I know you're a Sirius XM subscriber and you got a lot of fantasy football subscriptions out there. What propelled you? Like, what convinced you to join the SBFFC? What was Brandon's magic word? What convinced you to come join us?
Well, it was actually, it was you that called me. I just talked to, and you said that you talked to Brandon, and I love live drafting. That's like my ultimate favorite thing to do in fantasy football. There's nothing like a live draft. You get a bunch of guys talking ball, having a good time. And, I just like it so much better than online. And I was like, and I'm only a few hours away. So I was like, yeah, let's do this.
You live over in the North Georgia, Fort Oglethorpe area, correct?
Yes, I'm a suburb of Chattanooga. So.
Suburb of Chattanooga, just across that state line.
Right. I'm a Georgia resident.
So Michael goes up I-24, goes up the hills, and then before he knows it, he's in Murfreesboro.
That's it.
So Chattanooga is not a bad drive.
No, it's not at all.
No.
And Bowling Green is such a pretty place too. Like, I really enjoyed it. Enjoyed the guys. I mean, the whole event. Everybody was so delightful to talk about and helpful. I just felt at home. So.
Well, that's good, and we are glad that you feel at home because SBFFC is about what my good friend Steve Owen says, home folk, and
Yeah.
and
You
we
see my shirt? You see what I'm wearing?
Let's check this out here.
I got my.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Man, you're looking though. You're styling and profiling.
Yep, and I have an ultra. It kind of matches too.
There you go. Well, Mick Ultra, another sponsor of the SBFFC show.
Mhm.
That's you get free beers, for everybody, and we were all about the bourbon too and everything.
Right.
So when you came to Bunker for the first time, this is your first time coming, and I know a comical story on the lightheaded side. You had misplaced your laptop or misplaced your.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, a friend, like one of my league mates, I grabbed his bag because it was the same color as mine, pretty much the same amount of zippers and everything. Just it was a little heavier, but I wasn't paying attention because I'm in that environment, And I grabbed it, put it in my car, and then I didn't realize it till I'm like, what color was it? And I'm like, oh gosh, and then I was like, let me go check to see if I picked it up because it would be something that I would do by accident, of course. And they were so thankful that I found, that they found their laptop. And I was like, I'm sorry, guys, to put you through that. It was total accident, but I was glad that he got it and there was no hard feelings. And it was mortifying. But
and then you went on to win a championship. Now tell me,
yeah,
the process when you entered that room, when you went to the table with 84 teams in it. It was probably the largest draft you'd been in at the time, more than likely. They included Scott Fishbowl at the same time. What was going through your mind? What was going through your thoughts? And meeting the people, make everybody feel at home and everything that made it more ease for you. How did you sit down and do some strategy for drafting? How did you handle this live draft? Because it was a lot of adrenaline and a lot of good excitement.
Well, and that was the first time I've actually done bidding for your draft spot too.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it was an extra, adrenaline flowing there. And I was just kind of just sitting back and, I had a budget, certain amount I was going to spend on that because I needed the fob for the year. So I don't remember exactly how much. I'm thinking was around $100 because I actually went back and looked at all my claims and, all the things that I did for the year. I'm ready for, I was just seeing what was the key points of the year. And, but for the draft, I'm sorry, I'm getting off on the tangent, off the subject. I just wanted to take it, like I usually do. I had my sheets, my rankings, and best player available, first couple rounds. And then, then I started doing handcuffs and I got my back-to-back quarterbacks in, I believe it was round 11 and 12. I got Brock Purdy and CJ Stroud. So I wasn't sure if that was a good move at the time, getting the back-to-back quarterbacks, but it turned out to be a really good move because Purdy was out for a long time.
Yes, and I was a Purdy owner in the Southern Bluegrass Fantasy Football Championship, and I feel your pain, but he came on at the right time, didn't he?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I was going against Alex, and we were pretty close, and he had McCaffrey. So, McCaffrey had 16 points or something, which is a bad game for him because he's been killing it this year. And everything kind of worked out. I didn't panic when I had a few injuries. I really liked the fact that I had extra wide receivers and handcuffed my two running backs. I had I did get a little bit of injury bug, but because I had the extra wide receivers and there's nothing on the waiver wire at the end, So I was thankful that I used that. I usually go heavier with the wide receivers. And I had, A-Chain and Chuba Hubbard, which was the starter at the time. But then I got Dowdle, and I thought that was a good move, in the 14th round to handcuff it. And it turned out coming, in handy later in the year when he became the one. So things worked out for me. And you got to have a lot of luck to win something like this.
Yes.
You got to make the right calls. Start sits is, so crucial. But like I said, I was fortunate, and my guys got hot at the right time, and I was fortunate to win, and it could have went the other way.
Did you know, Michael, that Alex won the league last year?
Oh yeah, yes, definitely.
And
I didn't know at the time until he reached out on Christmas Eve. So the morning, and he wanted to split the funds and everything, and that sounded like a good idea to me.
Well, we Chuck and Seth, we were going to split it 3 ways. We were going to have Dr. Harwood get a little bit of the money, but this Alex and Michael said no. So we can't have nothing.
Well, I'll be happy to buy you a drink, guys. No problem.
Oh, there you go. So here is the Fantasy Meatballers Championship roster, which will be displayed in the live draft room on the Friday, August 21st, of the weekend of the SBFFC.
See if I can make it a little bit bigger here. No,
and
nope.
I actually got it here.
I'll tell you, we
So
I can't hear without my glasses anymore. But he there's a lot of balance on that team, and
that's how I generally draft. By the way, so you were asked about strategy before. I generally don't like to go like I will never probably do 3 wide receivers or 3 running backs in a row. But I did notice that going running back early this year was an advantage, because a lot of the early round receivers really didn't perform well. Look at Justin Jefferson, even Nico. He didn't come on till the very end.
Exactly.
Well, I think one of the biggest busts of the draft this year was Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, how many people took him first or early second?
Agreed.
Yeah, I think somebody took him before I had a chance to, I believe. And
blessings, blessings.
Yes. Sometimes your best move is not the move that you want to do, like the move that you don't get, or like a trade offer. They don't want it, and then they get hurt.
Right.
So that's the part of the luck that is involved with beating, all these great players in this league. There's no slouches, none. I have so much respect. I knew a few people in it already. And I have, I know that next year I'll probably be doing the same strategy. I just, I listen to reports, and I make a stab at it. We really don't know what's going on until October, because of the short off season. Teams are not gelling right away. Because I'm old enough to remember when they had like 5 off season games. When they weren't paid as much, they didn't care about them. So I loved it. And I was planning on coming up anyway, even if I lost or didn't make the playoffs. But I'm definitely honored. I feel honored to go up there and get the belt and try to defend my title like Alex almost did.
Oh, well, I said,
and my shout out to Alex and having another great year. It's really hard to do back to back.
Now, I'm going to ask you one thing. When you come get this belt this year, I do not want you to fall on your knees like Alex did on the stage. Last year. I know you're going to be.
Did he drink too much bourbon or something? I don't.
Well, that was a faulty stage, because we decided to budget the stage, and
it gives excitement.
I'll do my best. I'm pretty nimble for an old fella, but I can't wait to be up there again. Like I said, great bunch of guys. I was talking to them while I was getting my food. We were online together, getting and he even mentioned, "Are you the guy?" I'm like, "Yep, that's me."
This evening I got a sponsor for your Woo Fantasy Live Fantasy Football Championship. You will need to pay for your Woo Fantasy Live Draft in 26, but they have sponsored Michael Quinzel a free SBFFC team for 2026.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Thank you for winning the championship, Woo Fantasy, and that I guess they sponsored. I don't know if they robbed a bank or blackmailed somebody or won a poker tournament or something. Or Brandon plays bowling. Brandon is a bowler as well.
Oh yeah, we talked
so-
bowling. Yes.
So moving forward, the Woo Fantasy champion will not only get the belt, but he'll get a free SBFFC main event entry for the next year. Now, Seth and Chuck know all about the event and the event planning. Chuck's wife, Christy, she's going to make sure that the event runs smooth for you and that you're taken care of and that you're happy. Right, Chuck?
Yes, sir. She does a good job down there.
And
I'm sure she will. The girls were great.
And then Seth's going to let you know how it feels for him to win a belt. And he's a champion of the Woo Fantasy League. And
congrats.
Seth, tell him how the belt's going to look like.
Well, I've got it displayed in my classroom at school, and but I have it up with some of my wrestling belts too, and so the kids don't know that it's a fantasy football championship belt until I tell them, and so it ends up being a fun conversation piece. But here's the best piece of advice that I will give you, Michael. I got two pieces. One, you carry that thing around all weekend. You bring it Saturday as well.
Well, I'm going to be doing Saturday, Brian. I'm sorry, Seth. Hold that thought. Since they're going to respond, I'll do the both. Because I told you I might only be able to do one, but I'm going to free my schedule, and stay the whole weekend. So,
well, you definitely take that thing
How's
around,
that?
And wear it on your shoulder.
Good, Brian? Yeah, I will. Believe me, I will. But I'm a gracious winner. It's fun, when I know you get to know people, then you can start fooling around,
Right.
That's why I like live. You can tell who's got, who's more sensitive than others and who likes to cut it up, who's got a dry sense of humor. Because when you're like just typing words, you don't know if they're really kidding or not sometimes, so that's why I like live drafting is it makes the community so much better. The fantasy football is tighter because of events like this.
The other piece of advice I'd give you, and I didn't do it, but I'm thinking about doing it this year, is like every year just bring the belt with you. People like, hey, did you win? And just, yeah, I did. And you don't have to give details. Just that helps with the live drafts because they think that you're a shark, and you are if you win one of these for sure. But if you take it with you every year, people just get extra afraid, and so I'm all about that. I'm all about intimidation. If I like put an Alka-Seltzer in my mouth and just foamed at the mouth, I'd do that if I thought it would help me get a pick I wanted.
He's a rabid dog. Yeah,
that's right.
Watch out for Seth. No, I'd be proud of it. And anybody else that has him, I'm like a lot of, even if I didn't win it, I'd have a lot of respect for that because I know how hard it is to win the league. Because I thought I was going to go last from first in another Superflex league I was in. I was up 45 points, and Bijan went off against me. Oh, well. Shit happens. That's just fantasy football. Next year, it could have been me. It could be me coming back,
You got that right. And,
you just got to take the losses, learn from them, and know that usually the ups and downs come, the fantasy gods will bless you if you do the right thing and then sometimes you just don't have any luck. Certain leagues, I'm like, how am I a champion? Look at this team. It's horrible. Like I did every move wrong, but then some leagues like this one, I did very few bad start decisions and I was fairly healthy. And that was the keys.
Well, what I'm planning on doing, the Woo Fantasy representatives and anyone who has won the Woo Fantasy live draft recently will come up on the stage and clap their hands and present you with the belt Friday, August 21st. And that I look forward to it already because you'll be up there with some of the other champions and you're going to take your place in just like Dusty Rhodes said, at the pay window.
I didn't know where you were going with this. I thought maybe you were going to get like a wrestling ring and then we were going to just wrestle for a little bit. Well, just to get it loosened up,
The way I'm gonna get a wrestling ring in that ballroom is if Seth does a moonsault. That's how. That's
well. Let me tell you, I've been in the wrestling ring for almost 18 years, off and on, and let me tell you, me or my alter ego has never ever done a moonsault, nor will they ever. My knees are already shot, Harwood. Like you'll be rolling me into the SBFFC, you get me to do a moonsault.
Well, if Vader can do it, I mean,
It
Yeah,
sounds painful just listening to it. Never mind doing it.
Yeah, it's I just never even. I tell you what, I'll tell you this quick story, and we've got to wrap the show up. When I trained to wrestle, when I first started training, I thought, man, I want to get on the top rope and do all this stuff, and they never let me. They just absolutely would never let me get on the top rope. And I just one day asked them why. It's like, why can I not get on the top rope? And they basically, just said, look, you're a huge guy. And you don't ever need to be on the top rope. In fact, you're never going to be on the top rope. And in 18 years of wrestling, I've never once been on the top rope in a match. So, Vader was like, I appreciate you putting me in the same conversation as Vader, but we are not at all close in talent. I was just okay locally, but Vader is a Hall of Famer. The only guy that I've ever not been able to speak words to, when I met him, I had no words that would come out. I just kind of mumbled, and I think he thought I was a moron, and I might have been that day. But,
man, it happens to all of us. Don't be so hard. Don't be hard on yourself. I'm sure we're all.
Oh, I'm sure he's used to it, but
I get tongue tied. I just forget. Old. I'm getting more mature and.
Mature, I like that.
That's why I write everything down.
Right.
Alarms for everything. So, yeah, it's all good.
Well,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I write everything down in my school because my special ed coordinator and co-teacher wants me to. And I said, you don't want me to write everything down because I may write something down that I may forget.
Yeah, especially if we have too much alcohol, then I get in trouble. So.
There you go.
Well, Michael, congratulations again as we wrap up the show tonight. Good luck next year. Enjoy the year because you're champion until the next draft, basically, and then it's back to work and business as usual.
Right.
But again, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having us. Having me. It was nice meeting you guys, and I'm sure I'll see you there, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, all right. Looking forward to it.
All right,
care, sir.
Keep up the good work.
All right, that was
Steve Michael.
Bye.
That was Michael Quinzel on the Woo Fantasy Friday Night Champion. And that's going to do it for us. Are we doing a show next week, guys? Have we decided that? We are doing a show next week. All right. Next week will be the last fantasy football show of the year. We'll do a basketball show as well. Season finale next week. That's going to do it for us. Final thoughts tonight, Chuck.
Guys that are in playoff tournaments this weekend, don't forget to get your lineup set before the games tomorrow, and make sure you hit that little save button at the bottom, because once that game starts, there's no changing it. Save.
Dr. Harwood, thoughts?
So, Rick and Faye, if you're listening, you need to listen to Chuck. More like Rick and Morty. But, I agree with Chuck. Get all your lineups in tomorrow. Study your one and done. Study your one per team. Next year begins today, and it's going to be an awesome playoffs, and we don't know who's going to win. It's going to be Buck Wild. And I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to do another draft right now. So as soon as this show's over, I'm going to call Krantz up, and we're going to start another draft. And we got one. We got one at 9.
Oh, good Lord!
We're going to be burning the midnight oil.
Well, enjoy that, Dr. Harwood. That's going to do it for us tonight. For Chuck, for Dr. Harwood, I'm Seth Burchin, and you've been watching the Fantasy Football Power Hour presented by the SBFFC here on the TN2M network of shows. Back next week's season finale right here on the Fantasy Football Power Hour.